What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live here on a Thursday, August 28th. It's our final stream of August. Thank goodness we're almost into September, where we can start previewing the NBA season. A season that I'm looking forward to, a season that the Blazers have some expectations. I mean, ESPN has them all the way up as the 11th seed in their predictions this year. That's pretty high for ESPN. But before we get into all the preview stuff, we have to do our fan favorite Would You Rather stream. We do this every year. We ask you guys for Would You Rather questions, and you guys never disappoint, and you didn't disappoint this year, so appreciate every one of you that submitted some of those. We're going to go through a series of Would You Rather questions. Some of them are going to be Blazer related. Some of them could be random. I haven't looked at all of them, but we posted in our community feed, for Would You Rather questions. So there's still time to submit one. We're literally just going to scroll down the list and answer them. I'm looking forward to it. Eric, how's it going? How's the week treating you?
Well, it's going pretty good. How about yourself, Tori?
It's going good, man. It's going good.
How's Chatland?
Busiest week of my year. Always happy to kind of wind down and spend a Thursday night with everybody here. We got fun things coming up this season. I got a sponsor announcement later in the stream. Maybe at the end of the stream, I'll announce our sponsor this season. We have a presenting sponsor for our channel that I'm looking forward to. That's going to be a lot of fun. But, yeah, man, it's excited for the weekend. I know a lot of you are going to have a 3-day weekend, so hopefully you guys are all looking forward to that. For me, it's probably just going to be a 2-day weekend, but I'm going to build the website some more. In case you weren't there for the last stream, I'm building the website. We're going to do some written content again this year, and I'm in the process of building that out. So, but yeah, how's life, man? You got the Super Nintendo World t-shirt on. I assume you got that on your vacation. Now you're back from vacation. How's it been?
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're gone for 2 weeks, it is an adjustment to come back, but it's been good.
Yeah, I dig the shirt though. You want to just jump straight into it? I know normally I like to kind of warm up the stream, but I mean, this is just the type of thing, especially we're starting late. Apologies for starting late. I know we've started the past few streams pretty late here. It's just literally doing them when I'm able. So, I know some of you were saying, Fly Guy, we're live during his 30-minute break, so we got lucky there. What's up, man? We got Mount Hood in chat, Gregory Castillo, Nathan Rolfe, David Yu, Taylor Packard, Joe Davis, Guy Zilberg, Chris S. Shout out to you guys for hanging out with us. Let me refresh the page in case any of you submitted one recently. And what I'm going to do, we're just literally going to toss it on the bottom of the screen. All right. So, some of these, we don't know what we're going to get, basically. I've looked at a couple of them. There are 31 comments. So we're going in blind. I don't know how much did you look at these, Eric?
I looked at most of them, but I think like 30 of the 31 are from Alex Coffer. So
shout out to Alex. That's definitely, I see more than 2 others from other people. That's definitely an over exaggeration. Shout out to Alex though. We'll see what he has. For us. And he's going to be the first one. So we can do chat polls for some of these, especially for the Blazer related ones. And yeah, let's just jump into the first one. Now, not a would you rather, but what would be your dream job in an NBA front office that isn't a GM, owner, or on the bench / coaching role? I mean, this is a good question, a not would you rather question to warm us up. Dream job, Eric, in an NBA front office that isn't GM, owner, or on the bench coaching role. So I feel like there's 2 different ways you go here. One's like towards the scouting department and one's towards like the day-to-day general manager side of things, which like those 2 things go hand in hand. But what would be your dream job if you couldn't have one of those roles?
I mean, I think it would be really fun to be an NBA scout. So I'd probably choose that.
Yeah, I've heard that being an international scout especially will test your love for basketball just because of how rough the travel can be, being all over the place, being at random gyms, watching all sorts of prospects, and it's very valuable to the team, but it can be a tough thing for some people. So I don't know. I don't knowing me, I would struggle with the travel aspect of it. I would probably go more on the GM side of things, assistant GM. It'd be cool to help conceptualize moves and different options and put them on the table. I mean, I literally spend my whole year anyway doing this on this channel right here. So I already do that. So it'd be fun to help an NBA front office in that way come up with concepts and trade ideas and moves, and 99.9% of them never pan out, but at least it'd be for a team, which I guess would be better than for a YouTube channel, even though it's fun either way. So shout out to Alex, and we'll move on to. All right, we're gonna have to move this up a little bit. Shout out to Isaac, who asks, another not a would you rather.
Jeez, people.
We're starting off with not would you rathers, but I'm curious about which Blazer season in your memory this offseason and season outlook is closest to. So, like, which prior season, like this current time, is closest to? Is it 2008 with Roy and Aldridge and young core in the anticipation for them making a leap, or 95-96 with a new chapter of the team beginning to have its trajectory trend upward, or 2016 but before the bad moves/decisions? I feel like it'd be interesting to hear y'all compare the expectations and hopes we have now to those of eras past and what it may mean for the heights this team could achieve in this current one. Now, I can't compare this to 1996 because that was the year of my birth. So I think this is probably a better question for Eric because I'm not sure if any time in my Blazer fanhood compares to the state of the Blazers right now.
Yeah, the weird part of this question is like the Blazers had that super long playoff streak, so there wasn't in my mind a time. I mean, you could make the argument that making the playoffs still doesn't mean you can't be in this situation on an upward trajectory, but since they were making the playoffs every year and made moves to make the playoffs and all that kind of stuff, it's I wouldn't put any of basically the since we won the championship to uh pretty much like Jailblazers era. Those were all relatively successful seasons where we weren't like building and having a breakout year where we kind of got close. So I would say the closest one in my mind that jumps is um I think it's 2012, 2013, Dame's rookie year, where the team wasn't expected to be very good. They end up around the All Star break. We're still in close to the 8th seed, and they kind of faltered at the end of the season, and they ended up tanking. So they kept their pick because that was another one of those seasons where the Olshey special, where we had a first round pick that was lottery protected, and we didn't want to give that up. Actually, that one might not have been Olshey's fault. That was a previous GM, but we kind of tanked at the end of that season. But it did feel like we were in much better shape that season than before the season, despite drafting Dame and all that stuff. A lot of people nowadays just misremember that whole era, I think, because Nick Batum was a free agent that summer, and there were a lot of people who thought we should let him walk. A lot of people weren't happy with the contract we gave them, and then, or we gave him. And, the core of that ended up being a super good starting lineup with Aldridge and Wes and Batum, and later on adding Robin Lopez. But like, I don't know. people weren't that high on that core once Roy and Odin had no longer been on the team. So um, I think that season just felt like we were building towards something towards the end of the season more so than it did at the beginning of the season, including the players that were already there. So I'd probably say that season. The Roy Odin draft seasons, I mean, we did have, I think we're 500 one season with them. I think we won what, like 34 games or something. I don't remember how many games we won Roy and Aldridge's rookie year. But then jumped to being a 500 team, I believe, and then we won like 50 games and we're in the playoffs. So I guess you could kind of say that, but that more felt like, okay, we have some young guys and now we're on a championship trajectory. With this current team, it still feels like they need a piece or two to get to that route, obviously. So it feels more like the 2012 team we're building towards the playoffs, not a championship necessarily. Long-winded answer, sorry.
Yeah, I think that's about as good of a comparison as I can think of from my lifetime, because I don't think it compares to 2016. Like, that was a team that went from being really good to expected to suck and then was good, but wasn't really like going into a rebuild. It was a team people thought were going to rebuild, but then didn't. And this is kind of the opposite. It's coming out of a rebuild, hopefully taking that next step. It's a lot more kind of normal from going from like completely bottoming out to trying to get to at least a play-in this year, or a playoff. So I think, 2012, there wasn't really expectations. But it's like the Blazers have never really, in my lifetime, I guess outside of the Roy Aldridge startup, like they've never really come out of a rebuild. It's more so like they went from being a playoff team. They were a lottery team for 2 years when they drafted Dame, but like they still had Aldridge. They still had pieces. Batum, Wesley Matthews, and then they had Dame. So it wasn't like they completely cleaned house. And the Roy Aldridge era is just different in comparison, I think, because you had the number one pick in Odin, who people thought would be like a Hall of Fame big, and then you had Brandon Roy, you had LaMarcus Aldridge. Like, that was a championship level young core. It just couldn't stay healthy long term, right? So expectations were through the roof for that rebuild, which is different than this. So it's really hard to compare it to anything that I've experienced. Let's move on to Alex Coffer. Would you rather Sharpe shoot 38% from three? We got a real would you rather. Let's go. We love it. Yeah. Would you rather Sharpe shoot 38% from three, Denny shoot 40% from three, Kamara shoot 42% from three, staying at the same volume as last year? This is a good one for chat. All right, this is a good one for chat. Chat, you can let us know your answer to this. This is a tough one. This is a good one. Sharpe, I think that would be the biggest percentage increase, believe it or not. Him going to 38% than the other guys going to 40 and 42%, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think was what it shot 31% last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think him taking a 7% jump on his volume, if the volume is the same as last year, I think that is by far the most beneficial. Like, obviously it'd be good if Denny and Kamara shot that, but they weren't. I don't think that would have quite the impact as if Sharpe, because it would open up a lot. Like we saw Sharpe's finishing ability last year really improve. So if he could have players like run out at him on the 3-point line and not have to worry about trying to beat him off the dribble all the time, I think it would bode well. So I'd say Sharpe 38%.
The only problem is that probably means he's getting like a $30 to $40 million contract in free agency next year. Like, is it better for him to wait a year to shoot that percentage for us? I mean, if he breaks out and gets that contract, that's a good thing, right? So I'm kind of joking. But I think that's just the big question with him is if he can shoot 38% from three on the same volume as last year, that means he's hitting insanely tough threes at that clip, which I
Yeah.
think would lend itself well to him becoming a true legitimate star in this league. So I would take that. I think Denny's already close to 40%. He was like 36, 37% the past couple years. So I don't think that changes his game too much. Whereas Sharpe, I think that completely, like, I don't want to say completely transforms him, but that just makes him basically unguardable. So I'd take Sharpe. I'd take Sharpe shooting 38% from three. And chat is aligned 90% of 20 votes. I'll keep running that poll for a second. All right, so we got Blazers 5106. His would you rather question: would you rather Scoop break out and play like his pre-draft expectations, or Dame come back as his peak self?
Do you want to go first this time?
I can go first this time if you want me to go first. Do
We can just
you?
take turns going first. Yeah.
I kind of want you to guess what I'm gonna choose.
I think I choose Scoot.
Yeah, so you guys know the context of this question. I'm not going to type it out in the poll, all right? Like, the poll's there. Would you rather Scoot break out and play like his pre-draft expectations, or Dame come back at his peak self? So I'll just say this. Like, Scoot breaking out and playing like his pre-draft expectations would lend itself well over the next decade for the Blazers, where if Dame came back and was his peak self next year, he's probably going to still decline after that because he could be like 36, then 37, then 38, right? So in Scoot breaking out into his like pre-draft expectations is him becoming probably as good as Dame ever was, I guess. Like, he was looked at as a potentially generational future Hall of Fame guard, was like the hype that he got. So if we're talking about that level of basketball, I think for me it is very easy to just take Scoot's side of things, all emotions aside.
Yeah, so you number one pick in most drafts, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you have to take Scoot just because Dame's age, like you mentioned, he only has a couple of years left of that peak self. I mean, if this was if you could say both of them were like the same age or whatever, you absolutely take Dame's peak, but that's not the question. So I would take Scoot breaking out because then we just have a much longer window to reap the benefits of him playing that way. Even if he's not quite as good as Pete Dame, it's still better to have that long term close to that versus a couple years of really good Dame.
Yeah. There's a new Chris Johnson workout video with Scoot that I'm going to watch when I get a chance. So I'm looking
Nice.
forward to that. But I'm surprised the poll results on this are even. I think this is easier than the Sharpe shooting 38% from 3-1. Like, our odds of winning a championship in the next decade are much higher if it's like Scoot being his pre-draft expectations self for like probably the next decade, because he's what, 21, right? He's 21 right now, so you know, when's he gonna start decline? Is gonna be like 10 years from now. I'd take that over like Dame being his peak self next year and then inevitably declining at age 37, 38, 39. Like, he's not gonna be peak Dame age 46, you know. So that's why I think it's super, super easy answer. But I mean, I get it. Wanting to see Dame be Dame is hard to pass up. So
Yeah.
that's why I said, like, all emotions aside, logically, Scoot's the right answer. But like, as a Dame fan, I get it. You know, I fully get it. I was just saying I don't understand, but now that I think about it, like, I do get it. I do get it, because it'd be sick to see Dame hitting 30-footers again, and like, it's almost just that nostalgia factor, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just, you miss those memories of Dame playing the way he did in Moda Center, so getting that back would be really cool after it was gone for 3 years. So there, I explained the other side of it. I explained the other side of it. But yeah. Nathan Rolfe says it wasn't Scoot's first time doing those moves, but it was Drew's first time. Oh, is he with Drew again this time, or are you guys talking about the one tape from like a week and a half ago? But yeah, Scoot's been doing some interesting work this summer, and if he has another jump like he did last year, like if he has the same level of jump, then he becomes a decently efficient scorer, and that would be great. And the 3-point shot looked good last season. I mean, you can't. If he takes another step like that this year, then I think it becomes clear that he's putting in all the right work. And we're seeing the work he's putting in, but a lot of players are putting in work. You know, if he's getting more out of it, then that's just a testament to whatever he's doing in the offseason, you know? Because not all of that's on camera, even though you do see some YouTube videos. There's a lot of work that is off camera as well. Just want to remember that with these videos that are getting put out this summer. Next, Would You Rather is from Javon. For a whole season, would you rather have Justice Winslow as our starting center or Moses Brown? I assume one of the two options is starting center, because if, is Justice Winslow as our starting center or just Moses Brown on the roster, I'd just take Moses Brown on the roster. But if one of them has to start, I think it's... You want to go first?
In the vein of this, just to, make it... you can't cop out and say, oh, you just sub Justice Winslow or Moses Brown out after 10 seconds or whatever.
They have to play,
They have to play,
30 minutes a game. Yeah, at that position.
Yeah.
I know my answer. Do you know yours?
Well, you absolutely hate one of these two people, so...
I hate both of them.
I mean, personally, you hate, not just basketball.
I don't personally hate any player in the NBA other than Miles Bridges, Kevin Porter Jr., and Paul Reed, okay? Those are the only three players I personally hate.
I guess Evan Turner isn't in the league currently.
Yeah. I mean, I personally strongly dislike Evan Turner. I don't hate him. I strongly dislike him. He has had me blocked on Twitter for 7 years. So...
I think I'm... Oh, man. I guess I'm tanking and taking Moses Brown this year and hoping they get a top pick next year.
Nah, you hate DA. I don't even know if I personally hate DA. DA's frustrating as hell, but I wouldn't even say I personally hate DA
Ooh, GP2, that's...
I don't even know if I'd say I personally hate GP2 like those other three. I mean, the first two names I listed, Miles Bridges, Kevin Porter, just do a Google search if you don't know why. And then the third guy, it's a long story. Okay. But my answer to this is... If we're talking about two centers that can't shoot, I'm going to take the 7'2" one instead of the 6'5" one with ankle problems. It's that simple for me. It's that simple for me.
Disgusting options. Good job.
There's a difference between personally hate and personally very strongly dislike. The very strongly dislike is Evan Turner, DeAndre Ayton, Michael Porter trash can, GP 2 weeks. That's that tier for me. We should do a tier list of the players we hate the most.
With some of the crap MPJ's been saying lately, he might...
Yeah, he's trying to get into the top tier, man. Yeah. He's showing everybody why I call him Michael Porter Trash Can, okay? I don't know why I started, calling him that specifically, but it's been a thing for, 5 years. It's been a thing Furkan freaking Korkmaz was a thing. Anyway, yeah, give me Moses. 76% of the chat says Moses. It's a good question, Javon. This is a great one. Okay. Bryce McFadden, would you rather have Stott/Olshey or Billups/Cronin?
Ugh.
That's a great one. That's going to drag us into the weeds, Eric. Which it makes it even better. Like, that's well played. It's very well played. I'll ask chat. This is a great question for like all the cronies who loved Terry too. You know? Like, I want to see this asked on Reddit.
Yeah. Are we assuming that Olshay's not gonna commit workplace misconduct?
We're not assuming anything. We're just assuming reality. You know the reality of these 4 people. Like, you know, was it even misconduct or was he just a little too mean and that was their reason for firing him? I don't know the details of that. Like, I'm not saying it's one thing or the other. I don't know the details. I want to let you answer first because I'm very comfortable in my answer, and it seems like this is a tough one for you.
Yeah. The hard part for me is, was what happened with Cronin a continuation of what would have happened had Olshay been here, and would Olshay have pushed Dame out too? So I don't know.
I think Olshay would have pushed Dame out, or I mean, maybe more likely not pushed him out and just been a perpetual first round exit year after year after year after year.
Yeah.
Because Olshay never took a swing either.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not going to, I don't know. Like, I don't like the way the Dame saga played out. But it's like, do something decisively is better than doing nothing decisively. And with Olshay, it kind of got to that point.
Would he have been able to eventually pull a trigger, though?
I mean, how many years did he have to pull the trigger, you know? Could you make an argument that Denny Avdia is a better player than Olshay ever traded for as Blazer GM?
Yeah, I think you could.
Now, it's weird that it happened in the middle of a rebuild instead, but yeah. What's your answer,
Eric? I mean, I guess Phillips and Cronin still have, 5 more years to match their time, but I mean, Stotts and Olshay did have, I mean, we had a team that was maybe a contender under them, and then we had a team that made it to the Western Conference Finals, 4 years later. So they did have some injury unluckiness. So I would say I would take the GM and coach that actually made the playoffs, because Billups and Cronin have yet to do that. So I'd say Stotts and Olshay.
I mean, the thing is they probably, Cronin and Billups probably could have made a playoffs now if they really, really tried to. I don't really like fully evaluating them that way. Also, the Western Conference Finals thing, I struggle to give Olshay and Stotts too much credit because it was by accident. I think people forget this. If they had their way, At least what it seemed like on the last game of that regular season, they would have been the 4 seed and faced Golden State in the second round and lost to Golden State because they couldn't even beat them when Golden State was very unhealthy. They got swept, even with no KD in that series. The Blazers essentially tried to lose the last game of the regular season, which would have made them a 4-5 seed. And who knows if they would have beaten Utah, like, in the first round, you know? Like, the Blazers almost beat Dallas in 2011 in the first round. Like, you could make the case that they were very competitive in that series. They took it to 6, and then Dallas just, like, runs away with the championship after that. So who knows how things turn out differently if the Blazers, when they sat every good player and played Anthony Simons every single minute as a young, skinny rookie, you know, Scalabissiere having a massive game, and the Blazers coming back from like a 20-point whatever deficit against the Kings. Shout out to you if you remember that game. Most of you, if you were fans, you should. That's the only reason they got into the Western Conference Finals is because they had that massive comeback with their end of the bench guys. So I don't know. It's you know, a lot of good things happened in that season. A lot of things kind of went right, and even though Nurk's injury hurt, they fought through it. So, you know, credit to them, but at the same time, it's like I would take Cronin and Chauncey. I just completely lost faith in Olshey to like decisively do anything. He made moves, but they were always just kind of like, I don't know, they were never moves to like seriously improve the team. It felt like a lot of the moves he made was just kind of shuffling things around. You know, they trade for Whiteside because Nurk's out, but then they don't trade Whiteside going into that deadline, and you know they ended up with some tough injury luck that year, of course. But I don't know, like, I don't know. I would go Cronin and Chauncey. I guess part of this is me having a little bit of hope that Chauncey might improve offensively this year. If he doesn't, then I'm writing him off. I have more hope in Chauncey improving like schematically this year than I ever did a Stotts ever changing anything up schematically ever. Because it was just drop scheme all the time, and this offense was the same and got stale. So I think for this, I don't think I like Olshey more than Cronin at this point. So that's why I'd take Cronin and Billups.
First 4 years for Stotts and Olshey, made the playoffs 4 times, made the second round twice. This is even if you just forget about what happened afterwards with the Western Conference Finals and all that. Billups and Cronin have shown that all they know how to do is tank, basically. So
I think if Billups and Cronin inherited that team that they did, though, like, they also would have had similar success.
I mean, Billups inherited a pretty good team.
With an injured Dame in year 1, and then year 2 they started hot, but Cronin was, I mean, maybe this is a knock against Cronin then, but Cronin was giving him Justice Winslow. Since we just talked about him, Justice Winslow had to play major minutes on that team, and like the bench on that team was not particularly good. Yeah.
Well, that was Olshey's biggest fault too. He could never build a good enough bench here.
The one year he did was the one year they had success, and then he couldn't keep them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great would you rather, by the way. Like, it really is.
Yeah. I don't know. I think making the playoffs 8 straight years, I think building I mean, they were a contender within 3 years of Olshey coming here and Stotts coming here. Then they completely demolished that team outside of basically Dame. CJ was still on the team, but like he didn't play much his first year. So they right away, like without even having to rebuild, our second round team the next year. Um, so I think the biggest problem was they might have been better off if they had a year that was like a down year in between those two. Because I think what ended up happening was they just, and this is why I get worried about this upcoming season for the Blazers. Yeah, I think they believed too much in the roster improving that they had and didn't think they needed to make that all in move. And that turned out to be pretty fatal.
Yeah, I mean, it would have helped if they had picks, but when you go back to, they lost Aldridge for nothing. They, traded Batum for Noah Vonleh, and Noah Vonleh had, like, potential. They didn't want to pay Nick Batum the following season, which made sense, but, like,
They shouldn't have, yeah.
but it was Noah Vonleh was your bet, and that was just that kind of felt like an Olshey guy. We're like, oh, he's a high draft pick. He has some pedigree. That's the guy I'm going to take a chance on. Oh, Cliff Alexander was a really highly touted high school player, even though he proved that he wasn't that good in college. That's the guy who's going to play a few games for the Blazers. It always felt like, and I think Cronin has a little bit of this, but not to Olshey's extent. Like, Olshey would fall in love with the guys that just had some sort of pedigree. That's why you would end up with, like, oh, Nick Stauskas was the 8th overall pick? Yeah, let's sign him. Mario Hezonja was the 5th overall pick? Yeah, let's sign him. You know what I mean? It was just, like, banking on pedigree instead of, like, being smart about it. And then, they didn't have picks to trade because they lost Aldridge for nothing, and they traded Batum for Vonleh, who didn't really pan out. I mean, you can even go all the way back to, like, the second Thomas Robinson becomes available, here's the 5th pick. All right, got to trade for him. So I don't know. Like, I don't want to, like, just look at, oh, they made the playoffs and Billups and Cronin didn't. Like, although that's true, I've been sitting here saying, like, Cronin and Billups shouldn't be, like, antsy to get back to the playoffs the past couple of years. Like, they need to take their time and rebuild and set this organization up for the future. Compared to, like, being irrational and, like, being aggressive to try and get back to the playoffs as soon as possible. So that's where it's like, I feel like we know a lot about Cronin and Chauncey, but I think as they transition out of rebuild mode, the next 2 years is going to be, like, the biggest kind of put up or shut up years for them in terms of, like, proving themselves in their roles or just proving that they're not the right fits. And now you have a new owner who will be evaluating that.
Yeah, to me, I don't count Dame in this list because I think he would have came back no matter who the GM was. So
does Olshey swallow his pride if they had a falling out like that, though?
I don't know, but that maybe not. But for me, outside of Dame, 4 off seasons, Cronin has managed to sign Moses Brown, Blake Wesley, and Gary Payton II in free agency. That's it. 3 free agents.
Who did Olshey ever sign that was worth a damn, though?
I mean, I'm not. He signed Mo Williams. He signed Melo. He signed. Well, I mean, I guess he traded and then re-signed, but
Melo, like
he signed Steve Blake back. He signed Chris Kaman. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, for a dude that was GM for what, 10 years, like, yeah, it's not much better. I hope give Cronin 6 more years. I bet you he'll beat that list. Evan Turner, he overpaid. That was a bummer. Yeah. Festus Ezeli, he paid money to never play a game here. Listen, I would have taken that chance, but how did that go? Cantor. Yeah, just Cantor on a buyout market. I mean, yeah. There's a lot of names that were similar to, like, the Moses Browns and the crappy free agents too. So, I mean,
he signed Pau Gasol. Remember that?
You can make the case that Jeremy Grant and Denny Avdija were better at the time the Blazers traded for him than anybody Olshey ever traded for. Too.
Yeah. I mean, he did get kind of unlucky that Rocco just, fell off a cliff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you forgot Derek Jones Jr., the legend. Yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, I feel like Cronin and Olshey, in terms of bringing in quality players, it's tough to compare them because the teams are in two completely different modes. Cronin / ownership, I guess, kind of forced the Blazers into that mode, but at least it was a plan where oh wow, shout out to I just completely lost my train of thought because oh my goodness, shout out to my guy Borna Nazari. He says the counter after Muvsy Hoops with the $70 Canadian donation says, remember the riddle. I don't know what the riddle is, Eric. Muvsy keeps telling me to remember the riddle. I don't know what it means, but if the riddle rhymes with $69.99 of Canadian money, I'll gladly remember it. And then shout out to my guy Borna. One-upping Muvsy. Appreciate y'all. With the $100 dono. I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that mid thought. I don't even remember what I was talking about. You guys are legends. Yeah. Anyway. We love the bombs, man. We love the bombs. The chat poll. 67% say Cronin Billups, 33% say Stotts or Olshey. I thought it'd be more 50-50. But we don't have many Stotts fans. If you ask this question on... Well, here's a question for you, Eric.
No, because...
Do people hate Olshey more than they loved Stotts?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. People really hate Olshey, man.
See, you asked earlier what wins out their love for Cronin or Stotts. They will pick Cronin because Olshey is connected to Stotts here. Although there are some people, I mean, I haven't heard it discussed in a long time, but, those same people that love Stotts and love Cronin also hated the Billups signing to begin with. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah. See, these are the only... we would never have these debates if it wasn't for Would You Rather Night. This is why we do this every year around the end of August before we start previewing things, because you guys get us in the weeds with some conversations that we either never would have had or haven't had in years. All right? Here's the next one. I think this is a good one. I mean, I know what Blazer fans are going to answer to this, but we got Helicon 1. Says, would you rather have Shaedon Sharpe or Austin Reaves? My answer for this is simple, Eric. If I'm trying to win a championship this year or maybe even next year, I'd probably take Austin Reaves. I think he's a better player as of this moment. But for a team in the situation the Blazers are in, I'd absolutely take Shaedon Sharpe and his long-term upside because his upside, I think, is greater. I think if Austin Reaves had a bigger role somewhere else, on the ball, I think he could be a 23, 24 point per game guy. He puts up pretty good numbers when Luka's out or LeBron was out. He's legitimately talented, and this is coming from a day one Austin Reaves truther. You can go back and watch the video when I was looking at draft targets and I was raving about Austin Reaves before his draft. Okay, I've been an Austin Reaves fan. But for a team in the Blazers position, they need long-term upside. They need somebody that can pop into a true, hopefully top 20, top 25 player. And I'm just going to take my bet with Sharpe there.
Language warning ahead of time.
Language warning?
Yeah. Fuck the Lakers. Fuck Austin Reaves.
Damn!
Shaedon Sharpe is our guy. It's Shaedon Sharpe. I'm picking Shaedon every time.
Where did? All right, yeah, I respect it, but damn, man,
Sorry.
damn.
I give warning.
No, it's 11. It's past 11 p.m. Okay, it's August. We can curse a little bit, you know. If you're watching this with your kids, you should maybe put them to bed. Um, but yeah, like that's my level. That's my level-headed take. Is like Austin Reaves is a good player.
No, man, no level-headedness. We have to take our guy Sharpe. You can't take a Laker.
Should I do a chat poll for this?
Come on, man.
Do you want me to do a chat poll for this?
You were just in our group chat on Twitter, like killing people for liking Lakers or liking Dodger players, and
There's a difference between saying, okay, so the conversation in our group chat that Eric is referencing, I asked LA Dodgers fans who are from Portland if they would become Portland baseball fans if MLB to PDX happened. And they're like, I mean, I'd root for them, but I gotta stick with my LA team. And it's like, man, you're from Portland and you're sticking with LA over PDX? You know, but that's completely different than talking about how Austin Reaves is a good player. Okay, like if we had Justice Winslow, would we have to say that Justice Winslow is better than LeBron? You know, we got to take Justice Winslow over LeBron because he's a Portland Trailblazer. This is too many Justice Winslow name drops, by the way.
yeah.
But I respect it. I really do. I really do. Screw the Lakers. Anyway. Did you just drop that because Borda was in here?
No.
He wants to debate you at some time this year. I'm going to let it happen, but I told him I have to give you a heads up so that you can mentally prepare.
Why would I cuss because Bourne is in here?
Because you're a Laker fan.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I know he's a Padre fan, but
Yeah, because he's from SoCal. Yeah. So,
yeah,
you know, San Diego doesn't have a basketball team.
Yeah, but
The Clippers would make more sense in San Diego to me, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, they did leave San Diego at one point, so
I mean, I guess because they left San Diego for LA, then it makes sense for them to be in LA, but I don't know. I always thought it would be cool if they were in San Diego. Anyway, next to Would You Rather?
I have to bring this question up real quick. If PDX got an NFL team, Tori, would you still be a 49er fan, or would you still root for the California team?
It's not California. We're switching it. It's not as sacrilegious to root for San Francisco over PDX as it is to root for LA over PDX, okay? But also, I'd probably be the Portland NFL fan. I'll be honest. On my scale of like how much I am a fan of teams, and I'm a diehard fan, so like I'm a big fan of all these teams, but I'd probably put the Niners fourth behind the Blazers, the Mariners, and Gonzaga. Gonzaga might, I'd probably put them fourth. I don't have like that same like local connection as I do to all those other teams.
Right, Trevin? Jeez.
Trevin, you maybe you're too young. You don't understand. You don't understand. LA would be more of a rival city for PDX than San Francisco.
Yeah, so I believe if you grew up rooting for a team, even if your hometown eventually gets a team, I think it's okay to still root for the team. It's okay to. That's like your one. Like you can't switch teams. But you do get a one-time pass if your team does something like awful, like if you're a Penn State fan or something, like Joe Paterno back in the day, you know, if that comes out, then you can switch your fandom. Or if your local city gets a team, then you can switch. But it's not required. I think you can still root for the team you always grew up with. The problem with the people who like LA teams like the Dodgers and stuff is that they started liking the Dodgers to begin with, not that they would keep their fandom of that team.
Well, yeah, it feels a little bandwagon sometimes. But listen, I don't disagree with anything you say. I just want to add, except for LA.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's my religious perspective on
What does Borno want to
what does he
debate
want to
me
debate
about?
you? I don't know, man. He's a good speaker. He's a good speaker. I don't know. Part of me just feels like he would just try and push your buttons because he's watched us for so long, and I feel like he'd know how to.
I wouldn't let him do that.
Oh man, I'd mediate it. It'd be like a presidential debate.
Is Borna still in here?
I don't know. I feel like he'd be commenting in the chat if he was. But
Does he still do those like? Does he still have that other
the
channel that he was
Padres,
trying to do? No,
no.
not the Padres. Like the one he did after that, where it was like
The vlogs.
he was trying to be like I don't know. Like I just remember seeing this one video where him and I think it was two or three other friends like they each drew a name out of the hat and they had to go find that person a date like on the streets or whatever. It was like one of
I
those
don't
type
even
of
know what video you're talking about.
it seemed like he was trying to get into that realm of YouTube, and
I
I
think
was
he'd be
wondering
pretty
if
good
he
in
ever
that realm with
did
YouTube.
anything else
But
with that, or if it just kind of ended. Yeah,
no. I think he'd be pretty good at it, but yeah. It was fun making a thumbnail with him for a vlog, you know. But yeah. I wish he'd get back into Padres content. Especially after we won 2 of the 3 games against them, you know, like those are my favorite. Mariners beat the Padres going into the Padres post game. I mean, I enjoyed watching his content in general. So anyway, definitely not just gassing him up because he dropped $100 donation. But next question. Moving on. Alex Coffer, would you rather sit low 300s to every game of the season or courtside to one game of your choosing? You can answer this. I mean, my answer is super, super easy and quick.
yeah. If you've ever sat courtside at a game, it's like an awesome experience. So I'm going to choose that every time. I mean, this I guess is kind of messed up because, I mean, 300 level tickets aren't that expensive. I don't mind sitting in the 300 level. My mom has season tickets up there. But yeah, if I have a chance to sit courtside one game, I'm picking that.
Is Burgerville the sponsor? I wish. I had Burgerville today. It's the only thing I ate today was some Burgerville. Even with In and Out, like 10 minutes away from my house now.
Where did that
Ridgefield.
come from?
What's up?
What?
There's a comment in the chat.
I know, but did something happen with Burgerville?
No,
Did you
I
just-
think he just maybe is watching back the start of the stream where I was talking about we got a sponsor that I was going to announce at the end.
Yeah.
So I think that's what that's referencing to. When's the Discord questions? You mean the call-in shows? We have our post-game schedule in our Discord.
No, people asked, would you rather on Discord too?
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, we have more? All right, we got to get through these then.
Right,
My goodness.
so quick.
I would not want to go to every game, so I'd just take the courtside.
Yeah.
Even if I was credentialed, I probably wouldn't want to go to every game. Like, that's a lot. I would hope that I could rotate the credential. Probably wouldn't be able to. Probably wouldn't get it in the first place. We know how this goes, chat. Anyway,
No, you can rotate them.
amongst members of my organization.
Yeah, it's usually for like whatever. Like it would be for Blazers Uprise, not for personally Tory Jones.
Welcome to giveaway night. Who wants credentials?
No, you couldn't
Who
do
wants
that.
Who wants to sit next to?
You'd have to do people you trust.
Who wants to
Not
sit
me.
next to he who must not be named, Mr. Dozen GMs? Nah, just kidding. Yeah, Yeah, trusted people, and I trust every one of my subscribers. So mute that bozo. You're up. No, just kidding. I've said if I get credentialed, it'd be cool to take somebody like in the final year of like a journalism program at a college that like wants to cover sports, like give them some experience, like I don't know, something like that. Haven't fully thought it out, but I think that'd be cool to do. And then like have somebody in arena that can stream the press conferences directly to me that I could show on stream, and then we react, and it's like our own footage and it's our own thing. That would be super cool. What's my Burgerville order? Too many calories. I don't want to talk about it. Fries, Coke, Tillamook cheeseburger. Pretty basic.
I found Colossal Burger is better.
I'll have to try it. I haven't tried it. But it's also one of those things where I like my order so much. I'm like, should I get something else? You know, I'm very happy with what I order.
All right, let's get to this next question.
Ma3377Y2U says, would you rather trade JG and Rob for Lauri Markkanen and give up a first-round pick, or stay like this with the JG contract? All right, chat, we doing the trade or not? I was going to go do a chat poll, and I accidentally clicked end stream, and it was like, you sure you want to end your stream? I'm like, nope.
You almost did it again?
Yeah, dude, what is wrong with me? I'm losing my mind, okay? I really am. Because I accidentally did that last stream, by the way. If you were watching the end of the stream and wondered why we just randomly disappeared, it's because I hit end stream on accident. Like, brain fart. Anyway.
Markkanen has a really big contract that could low-key be worse than JG's at the end. Yeah. Maybe it depends on the first round pick, but see, I go back to how, like, where is, so you playing like Tamani way less now, or are you playing Denny way less? I just rather play with the forwards we have.
Or are you playing Lauri at center? Because does this trade even make us better next year? Like, Lauri's a better player than JG, but we kind of need Robert Williams. I'm not like everybody thinks like Young Hanson's going to look like Jokic as a rookie.
We don't need Rob Williams because you can't depend on Rob Williams. So, I
mean, we'll see what happens. But we kind of do need him, even if he ends up getting hurt. Like, I think we do need him. We need another center in that group. I don't know if Young's going to be ready to like seriously help this team win games as a rookie. And like Donovan Klingen's had his injury troubles too over the past, and like he can get in foul trouble. Like, Robert Williams is more important than I feel like we would want to admit. And is that a good thing with his injury issues? Probably not, but we kind of need him.
Yeah, but I feel like we could flip Markkanen for more than what we.
I don't know if he has value anymore with that contract you were talking about.
Trade for him last year, but he wasn't tradable. I don't know,
but was that Ainge like pumping his market? Here's the thing: if they trade him here with a first, like, are we going to get back that first? Because I don't really see his value to the team being much different than like Jeremy's. He's a better player, but I wouldn't want to start him over Denny or Tamani. I don't think starting him over Denny or Tamani gets us any closer to anything. Yeah. Like, so it just creates more of a logjam and more questions. And we're giving up a first for a bigger contract to have even more questions. I would not do that trade at all. No way.
I was just thinking, like, if you just look at the value of the trade, like JG Rob in a first for Lauri is pretty good value, but I'm not doing it.
I feel like
it's gonna eat contract.
Yeah, I feel like if the Jazz are doing that trade, it's because he doesn't have more value. This is the only way that trade would happen. So, like, assuming that.
Yeah, I guess. See, I don't think
That
Utah would do
implies
that trade, but
that implies that Laurie has no value because you'd probably have to trade a first to get a team to take on Jeremy Grant, and it's not like the Jazz are going to value Robert Williams. So to me, that would basically say, like, Laurie has no value. And on that contract, how many years does he have left? 4? It's 3 or 4. It's a lot.
something like that.
Shout out to Josh Sargent. $10 donation says, Go Blazers, celebrating tonight since I just got a job as the Blazers stunt team strength coach. Congratulations, Josh. That's cool, man.
That's awesome, Josh. Congrats.
We're gonna have to hear how that goes. He says, P.S. I wake up early, so I rarely stay up with y'all anymore, but listen to every video in the mornings. Well, hopefully, on the way home from your stunt team coaching, so do you like go to games then consistently, or is it just like outside of games you help trade them? I'm curious to know about that role, man. Congrats on it, and thank you so much for the $10 donation. Appreciate you. Whoops, I'm scrolling through here. Yeah, please come back and give us like stories or just insight into that. I'm always curious about like the going-ons behind stuff like that. All right, next question. Would you rather be a professional athlete, musician, or actor? You have reached the top in each field, but only one time. I mean, professional athlete. Although if musician, if it's like, I can sing like The Weeknd or whatever, or rap. That'd be hard to pass up, but I'd want to be an athlete. I'd take the athlete for sure.
Yeah, it's always been my dream to be a professional athlete, so I'd pick that too. But I don't think you can go wrong with any of those choices.
Yeah. I think most of the chat too probably pick an athlete there. 57% of people, by the way, said they do the Laurie trade. We haven't talked enough trade talk lately because our chat's disagreeing with us and our echo chamber is crumbling.
No. Get that reputation back.
I know. Lawn Clippings 01 says, imagine you're an NBA GM of a random team that desperately needs that player, aka a superstar. If you had the choice, would you rather Brandon Roy but injury prone or Devin Booker? So Brandon Roy but injury prone, so like Brandon Roy, I don't understand this question. So like Brandon Roy as he actually was, which was a player who had like 3 good years and then his career ended. Or Devin Booker, I mean, I think it's pretty easily Devin Booker.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you're saying that. If you're saying...
But not injury prone, then that's...
Not injury prone? Yeah, I'm taking Brandon Roy.
Yeah, I'm taking Brandon Roy, too. Alex Coffer. Not a would you rather question, but a segment idea. Listen, I'll take a good segment idea in August. We're planning stuff right now. I always love the not a would you rather. Using NBA 2K, you should each take a current Blazer and use the fantasy draft mode in My League to build around them. Use crushables to grade your teams picking a winner. Yeah. I feel like that's definitely an off-season thing. I guess the new 2K is coming out. So if we're doing like the fantasy draft where we start with a Blazer and then build a team around them, who gets to choose? Who would you choose, Eric? Like first, if you had to choose one Blazer to build a team around, like no other context given.
So is that? I guess I have to. It depends on the format. if we just like get that player and then do the fantasy draft, so like it doesn't affect, like it's not our first pick or whatever.
Yeah, that would be the way it is. See, that's an interesting question.
Yeah. It also depends on what pick you had.
You don't know your pick. Yeah.
In the fantasy draft, you know.
You don't know your pick, like.
Because if I had a high pick,
it's just kind of a generic question, yeah.
Yeah, if I had a high pick, I'm taking Denny or Tamani and getting my star with the high pick. If I have like a lower, like late 20s pick, I'm probably taking Sharpe and just hoping like heck he.
And this is why I had to say no context given. Yeah, because it's like, let's just say you don't know anything after that. You just like have to pick a player.
Yeah. I think for the fun of this, it should be like you take Scoot and I take Sharpe, because that's what all these things come down to, right?
Oh.
If we actually
I'd take Sharpe over Scoot right now.
But you're building around him, like, for the...
Yeah. Okay, my answer is Denny, chat. I still don't know what Eric's answer is, but my answer is I'd take Denny, actually.
I'll take Tamani.
Okay, I respect it. All right. Let's see the reply to this. I know I have too much... Shout out to Alex. I know I have too much time on my hands. I'm doing a content nap with my 7-month-old. Congratulations on your 7-month-old. And my headphones died, so this is keeping me entertained. Use as many or as few of these as you want. We'll go through all of them. Thank you, Alex. That's funny that he's like, yeah, I'm giving you a lot. No, we appreciate it. Jacob, please cook. Jacob, please cook. Great username. Says, would you rather Sharpe average 31 points per game next year or Scoot average 20 points, 8 assists? I mean, I am going to take the 31 point per game score over anybody averaging 20 and 8. You can take the names off of them. If you're averaging 31 and I don't know how many assists you're averaging, I'm assuming it's also like 4 or 5 assists because you just have the ball in your hands all the time. Anyway, so if it's 31 points per game in no assists, then... maybe I'd take Scoot, because if Sharpe's averaging no assists, then that probably means he's shot chucking. So is it an inefficient 31 points per game where he never passes? Is that even good? I don't know. You know, so it's hard one to answer. Here I am trying to contextualize this question. Would you agree with my answer, Eric?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Cannoli do so much? 205. Says, would you rather become a Here you go, Eric. Would you rather become a Lakers fan, or would you rather agree with he who must not be named worst take of all time?
Oh, easily agree with Danny Moran's worst take of all time. I'll own that.
Yeah, because you only got to do it once. If you become a Lakers fan, like, that sounds like that's a prolonged experience. At that point, I'd probably just move to LA. Yeah, I will just suffer one time. It's fine. All right, it's fine. Anyway, great question. Like I said, we're going into these questions blind. Austin Wing 13 says, would you rather have Nurk back as is or CJ back as is?
What's up, Austin? How you doing, man?
What's up, Austin? I mean, you know what's funny is, like, CJ's a better player, but we don't have a need for guards, and we might have a need for centers. So if you're talking about this year's
we might
team...
have a need for both.
Huh?
Just this year's team. We might.
Either guy should only be playing in case of injury, and the in case of injury is much greater with the setters, I think. Right?
Yeah.
I would hope so. I would hope our guards aren't more injury prone than Robert Williams. So I'd honestly take Nurk. Chat, let us know. Nurk or CJ? I would take Nurk. Who would you take?
CJ.
If we're just talking about vibes, I would absolutely take CJ. CJ and Dame back. Josh says, I coach them in the gym outside of games. I get to go to as many games as I can make time for, though. I'll give you guys as much insight as possible. I just got back from their team tryout tonight. Nice. Yeah. Looking forward to it, man. Alex Coffer, another one, says, would you rather have Denny and one of Sharpe or Scoop make the All-Star game in 2027, not as a starter because of Odin, or have Dame come back to 100% after the injury and his second-team All-NBA? I mean, this is kind of similar to one we had earlier, but I'd probably take the... I'd probably take the first one, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be freaking awesome if next year Dame's second team All NBA. But I think having two All Stars, what would that be? 2 years from now? I think that means that they would obviously still be on the team, but both progressed. So yeah. I would definitely choose to have two All Stars than Dame making the second team All NBA probably for his last time in his career.
Yeah. Although, like, you're not knowing anything about the other players on the team, so, like, maybe those guys are close to being All-Stars and Dame's 100%. That's where it's like, okay, I could see taking Dame there. Part of me wants to. All right. Next one from Alex. Would you rather be a fly on the wall in Joe's office during the whole Dame saga or have access to every sports-related text, call, and email from Schefter and Shams for the next 10 years? So you mean I can just break news and ruin Shams' career?
This is probably the easiest one we'll get. It would be you could break every basically NFL or NBA story for the next 10 years. You'd be a legend. So yeah, I'd do that.
Reddit, Rip City Reddit would explode. Eric reporting everything.
So this is gonna sound bad if you hate us and don't believe us.
Everything sounds bad for those people, though.
Yeah, but in my mind, I already have been told everything that happened in the Dame saga with Joe and Dame. So like, so I would much rather have something new than something I already know.
Yeah, I would bury Schefter and Shams. Well, I wouldn't want... Here's the thing. I wouldn't want to report everything because you still want those guys to get enough reports so that they can still do their job so you can still get access. Because if all of a sudden, like, you run them out of business, you're not getting... And they go and pull a Woj and go become the general manager of the next St. Bonaventure, then you're not getting any insight, and then your career's done too. So you gotta let them... You gotta give them enough fish so that they can still break some stuff, so that they can still get the insight that you need to break your own stuff. So, that's how I'd play it. And we'd be rivals, even though I'd just be stealing his intel and, like, beating him by, 10 seconds. You just have to type faster than him. But, like, the rumors and stuff, having insight into that would be sick. Slim Spider, would you rather have Scoop become another 20.8 assist guy, or have Sharpe become an efficient 28-plus point per game scorer? This is very similar to a recent one. I will take Sharpe.
Yeah.
All right. Alex Colfer says stays the rest of your life. I don't know. Will the free flights still come with flight anxiety, or will the exposure therapy fix me? This is a good one for chat. Flights or food, chat?
I mean, free food is the sensible one.
Yeah, with the free food, how much of it can I get? Can I solve world hunger? I know we're not supposed to contextualize these questions like this. It's not the point of Would You Rather, but...
Just like never having to pay for any food again. I mean, that would be insane. But I think it'd be much more fun to be able to fly.
The flights and hotels, because you can always like eat cheap and be like fine. Whereas the flights and free hotels, you could just stay at the nicest hotels. You could fly the nicest flights. Like I'd probably take the free flights and free hotel.
Yeah, you could stay at the nicest place possible and never have to pay rent again, basically, right? Because you just feeling
true. Yeah,
so
free hotel.
You'd save money on ever having to buy a house or rent or whatever. So
yeah,
if you had, I feel like if you had, like you could do like a travel YouTube channel or something, and then and then like make money, enough money from that. I mean, it might not be like a ton of money, but like enough to
pay for your food.
Yep. So that's what I would do.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. We'll let that poll run. My guy Taylor Packer, who's in the chat saying, I'm fat, so food for sure. Yeah, we go way back. We go way back. Okay. Like high school days. That's my guy right there. Would you rather have the chance at a championship if you correctly call a coin flip, but afterwards, whether you win or lose the flip, the Blazers get the current Sacramento Kings ownership group for the rest of eternity, or have Jody Allen as the permanent owner and let it ride? Jeez, this is a dark question. No. I'm taking the second one because... So wait, is Jody as a permanent owner for the rest of eternity? Is she any better than the Kings ownership group? Also, have the chance at a championship doesn't mean a championship. It just means having the chance, which every team technically has a chance at a championship on opening night when everybody's 0-0.
I think what he's saying is like you have a chance with the coin flip to get it.
Oh, yeah. So like if we call it right, we get a championship. Yeah, I'd take that. Because I'm not sure Jody's much better than the Kings ownership group. Like,
this is going to come up later on, too, in another question. But I'm not accepting any championship that I am guaranteed to win. Because I feel like that would always cheapen the championship in my mind.
Well, you wouldn't know the coin flip, so I think you just experience it normally, right?
But no, what I'm saying is like, what do you mean you wouldn't know the coin flip? You wouldn't get to see if you won.
Like you just, yeah, like you take a chance at a championship, and I guess you would know you'd have 50-50.
Yeah.
I'd take a 50% chance at a championship. I'd love to have those odds at a championship.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to like, oh, what if you had like a sports wish and you could give any team you root for a championship? Like, yes, it would be awesome to see them win a championship, but they only won that championship because I got the wish, you know what I mean? So like they would only if they won the championship, I would be like, oh, great, I won the coin flip.
I'd take a championship any way, shape, or form at this point. I'm cursed. What are you calling? In my mind, I was like, gotta call tails. No, wait, gotta call heads. Wait, no, what do I call? What do you call it?
Yeah, I'll just call heads.
We're cursed!
Yeah. I already know that.
So I guess we'll just take Jody. I'm 0 for 7 now. That coin was on drugs of some sort. I don't know what that flip animation was, but it was not normal. It's not normal. Would you rather have SGA or Luca?
I mean, SGA's already won a title and an MVP.
Yeah, I'd take SGA too.
Pretty easily taken SGA, yeah.
You can redo any what ifs in Portland history. Which ones do you redo from Alex Colfer? I mean, I'd redo like draft Jordan, Brandon Roy, Greg Oden never get hurt, like draft Giannis. I mean, you could run all day. I think the better question is like if you could redo one what if in Portland history. But I mean, I think that one's pretty easy. It's draft Jordan and not Sam Bowie. Like, there's no other that could top that.
Yeah. Draft the best player of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now answer the question, and you can't say Jordan owned Roy. I didn't even see that part. Perfect.
So yeah, second part.
So you can't say draft Durant because that would be instead of Odin. That'd be Odin related.
Yeah.
Maybe Aldridge never leaves and just see what happened if he didn't. Would just be interesting. I mean, like, outside of the obvious, so, like, the Blazers get Wemby, you know, like...
Yeah. Yeah, you could draft Jokic, you could draft Giannis.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, those would be two good ones.
Like, outside of, like, drafting an obvious, like...
I would say... do whatever it takes to get Arvidas to come here in '86 when we drafted him.
Like, what if Arvidas came there? Yeah.
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 Also, maybe, like, I don't know enough about his foot injury to know if something would have happened, but maybe not force Bill Walton to play on a bad foot and screw up his foot for the rest of his career. I don't know.
Yeah. What if Wesley didn't tear his Achilles? Would have been interesting to see what that team does, just, you know, as another recent one. Oh, we got to move this down because we're at the bottom. All right.
And then also, like, just, you know, maybe at some point when Jimmy Butler got traded a couple times, trade for him instead.
Yeah.
Like, pair him with Dame. I don't know. Draft Bam instead of Zach Collins or Donovan Mitchell. Trade CJ. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I'm trying to fix this. Okay. Where were we at?
I think the biggest one, if you're just talking about like recent ones, would maybe because the 2017 offseason when Paul George got traded. Now I don't. Looking and if we're using hindsight, probably shouldn't have traded for Paul George, but just in general, CJ was coming off his best season, almost had a 50, 40, 90 shooting season. And I think, like I was saying earlier, I think we just got a little too caught up in how good maybe like they thought he would be, and then he kind of regressed a little bit. So I would capitalize on his value that offseason and just trade him then if I go back.
Yep. I'm trying to fix this window capture, man. What in the world is happening?
And then you could have draft Donovan Mitchell, trade CJ.
Yeah. True. Okay, we're just gonna have to scroll on here. Okay, the next question was from Alex. Would you rather have Portland become a top 5 free agent destination or a top 5 draft scouting team? They can always scout well or bad. They will never be a top 5 free agent destination, so I'd pick the free agent destination. And that I think is more of a game changer anyway. So give me a free agent destination.
So I look at it the other way, just based off like what OKC did this year, and I would say have a top 5 draft scouting team would
How
be
much
the
of their
recipe
success
for
is draft scouting? Because like they fell into Chet, they traded for SGA, they took Jalen Williams, great pick, but they also took Ousmane Dieng right before him. I know they say they would pick Jalen Williams anyway if they didn't have to pick right before him, but they've missed on some guys too. Like,
yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm not even saying OKC is a top 5 draft scouting team. I'm just saying if you had a good draft scouting team, you could find the Jokic's and those kind of things.
Yeah. I kind of look at it like if they're not a top 5 draft scouting team, then the top 5 draft scouting teams are not winning over them right now. So, I don't know. I mean, who are the top 5 draft scouting teams? It's hard to even quantify that because you can be a top 5 draft scouting team and still miss. Whereas if you're a top 5 free agent destination, yeah, you can still miss on free agents, but like you're always in play for like guys that are already stars. Where like the draft is more of a crapshoot for me. Mm-hmm. It's just how I'd view that. All right. Oh God, I see drought in the next word. In the next one from Jacob, please cook. It says, would you rather 3 people have a 45-year drought of leaving the first round and for 20 of those years you don't make the playoffs, or would you rather just let this team ride and hope we can win at least one? See, like, this is the type of question where I'm more towards, like, I would rather, like, just let it happen naturally and not know what's coming than to, like, know that there's, like, a 3-peat just because I choose for there to be, like, you know, it's...
Yeah, exactly. This is the question I was thinking of when I said that earlier. So yeah, I mean, obviously having a 3-peat, like if the Blazers just won a championship, I could be happy the rest of my life with that. But for me, like I said, it kind of cheapens it if I know it's coming or it's only going to happen because I got to wish it to happen. So I would choose to just let it ride.
A 45-year drought is brutal too, for real. No thank you on the 45-year drought. All right. I'd do anything for a championship except like completely determine the outcome being that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? This one was a good one. I heard it. This was one of the couple that I saw. Would you rather be the GM of the Blazers for 7 years guaranteed with free reigns, or have Blazers Uprise become a 3 million subscriber YouTube channel with an active fan base and viewership? I think the having the YouTube channel, which there's a lot of work that goes into the YouTube channel, but I think having the YouTube channel would be a lot easier than being the GM. Although being the GM would be a lot of fun. I don't know, man. This is a great one. This is the second to last one.
Could I be the GM of a team other than the Blazers?
You wouldn't want to be the GM of the Blazers?
I don't know. It just feels like it'd be fun to be a GM where you didn't have the pressure of like also it being like, you know, emotionally involved with players and stuff, you know.
I mean, yeah, but you got to put emotions aside.
Yeah.
It's business, baby.
Yeah, I was looking at it like first of all, that'd be a good job to have for 7 years, paid well and stuff. And if you did a good enough job, even if that ended after 7 years, you could parlay that into a different GM job or something. But also having 3 million subscribers on a YouTube channel pretty much sets you up for life.
Yeah. And as somebody that runs an influencer marketing company with connections, yeah. I'm kind of like, just give me that. We be cooking. Yeah. So I work like not directly, but kind of see what creators of those size can do, and it's otherworldly. Yeah, it's awesome. So it'd just be a lot of fun. Like if we okay, if we had a 3 million subscriber channel, we'd have like our own studio by Moda Center that we could broadcast from. Like at that point, we better be freaking credentialed. We better be freaking credentialed. Like, you know, we'd pay for writers, pay for site developers, like run it like just a full-fledged media network. I'd launch a Timbers channel, you know what I mean? Put resources into that. Like, we'd be like the Portland, you know, sports media like place, you know. We could do like so much cool stuff with that. That would be so much fun. Whereas like being a GM would be a lot of fun. It'd be cool to experience it, but it'd also be kind of stressful.
So I'm not saying I wouldn't obviously want 3 million subscribers, but I think I would kind of miss these kind of streams though, where you can
We could still have them.
interact with everyone. No, I know, but like
we just do members only chat. We just have to do members only chat. All you OGs better become channel members if we get to 3 million subs.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, but still could. Still do whatever we want. We'd have 3 million subs. You know? That'd be amazing. Just get me to 30K one day. Sometimes I wonder if we'll ever reach 20K. You know? I mean, I'm sure, but it's like, how many kids am I going to have by that time? You know?
Oh, dropping news?
Next question. Final question. Thank goodness it's the final question. After I accidentally almost spoiled that. Alex Colfer says, would you rather win every fantasy sports league you join or have the Blazers win a championship while the channel is running? I mean, I'd take, like, realistically, I'd take the championship, but if you're telling me I could enter any fantasy sports league and I win it, I mean, I would be a multi-millionaire. So, like, if that's the case, I'd probably choose that.
Yeah, probably. But it would be really fun to have a championship with this, like,
yeah.
Stream during championships. So.
But then I'd have a fantasy football channel with 3 million subs because I'd win every freaking league. And I'd give people all the secrets. Well, some of the secrets. So
at least they're winning money off of that, I guess. But
they have like $1.5 million fantasy leagues and stuff that you can enter.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah.
How are you going to enter that, though?
What do you mean? Like best ball? Yeah. Like there's.
No, I was saying like you have to build up your money to get that much money first.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like I don't. What's the buy-in on those? It's like $300 because it's like thousands of people. Where, like the best team, I forget like the way the format works, but like you're talking about like thousands and thousands of people, and the winner gets like 1.5 million, and like each league has like 12 teams, and they like eliminate teams from the league, and then like whichever team scores the most in like certain weeks in the playoffs compared to all the other league winners or something like that is the one that wins the 1.5 million. I don't know. It's a whole nother universe of fantasy that I'm not privy to. Just, I watch some fantasy football guys and they'll do stuff like that. And it's just interesting to see the way they draft with like entering multiple teams and stuff like that. So yeah. We got our fantasy draft on Monday. I'm not planning on streaming it. I know some of you want us to, but it'd be kind of fun to just have a chill stream. 53% of people said flights. 47% said food. And that's all. That's all the questions. Or you said was there ones in Discord, or do you want to save those for like a?
No, just rapid fire real quick.
All right, let's do it.
Would you rather start Scoot or start Sharpe? Tori Scoot, me Sharpe.
I don't know if I'm. I've seen Sharpe start, so I'd probably choose Scoot just because I haven't seen him consistently start since he was an awful rookie. So, yeah.
Aeromancer asks, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized Young Hansons
This is such a
or
question.
one Young Hansen-sized duck?
100 duck-sized young Hansons?
I'd rather fight the one duck that's Young Hansen size.
I mean, that could just eat you.
Yeah, I'm not that much smaller than you're not that small either, so
Yeah, but that beak chomping on your head.
yeah. Just break its neck. I don't know.
I mean, what's a duck-sized Young Hansen gonna do?
I mean, there's 100 of them though. They're gonna.
I mean, just step on them.
You can't step on 100 though. They'd overwhelm you if they all work together.
Flop on them. I don't know. You could outrun them. Well, you have to fight them.
JP Savvy asks, would you rather have Darren Peterson or AJ Devonsa?
Darren Peterson right now.
I'll take Jack Bonsa. It's always been my guy, so I'm going to stick with him. But Peterson's dang good. Javon asks, would you rather run the equivalent of 5 marathons in the span of 72 hours or be a guest on MPJ's podcast for 2 hours, but you are forced to agree with anything he says?
So basically in 3 days I have to run 131 miles.
Something like that, yeah.
Was my mental math correct, chat? Let me know. Jeez, dude. I mean, I'd probably rather do that because I screw having to sit on MP Trash Can's podcast and agree with the crap that comes out of his mouth. Force me to run 131 miles in 3 days, please.
It's almost...
Even though I might die.
It's almost a mile every half. I don't even know if I could do that at this point in my life, so... I guess I'm just going to have to agree with MPJ and wash my mouth out with soap afterwards.
Yeah. Jeez. That's a brutal one.
All right, Eric Olson asks, would you rather, if you're a Hall of Fame player, would you rather retire in your prime and always be remembered at your absolute peak or play 10 more years as a role player and end up being remembered by a lot of fans as a guy waving a towel on a bench?
The first one was be a Hall of Famer, but like less career, or what?
No, it's basically, I think in both cases you're a Hall of Famer, but it's basically, would you rather retire on top where everyone remembers you being great, or would you rather play until you're kind of washed? And
I play until I'm kind of washed. I mean, if you're a Hall of Famer, I don't know. I don't think people would remember you for not playing. They'd remember you for when you did play, right? So,
and then yeah, for me, I think, like, who cares what other people think about you? Like, I like to play basketball, so I wouldn't want to just like quit when I'm in my prime or after winning a championship or something like that.
Matt Cardle's a very weird guy. I'm just gonna say that right now. What's the next question?
Champagne says, would you rather win MVP 3 times in your career? I'm assuming never win a ring, or just get one NBA ring as a second or third option on a team.
Give me the ring. Ring me.
Yeah. If these are the two options, I think being a second or third option on a championship team is good enough. But like,
You still might win Finals MVP. Jaylen Brown did it.
I completely agree with Charles Barkley when people ask him, would you rather have Robert Ory's career than your career? And he's like, dude, what? Why would I want his career? So like, yeah, I mean, it would suck to not win, but I see what Charles is saying there.
My mind is so far gone. I had to confirm via Google search that Jaylen Brown did indeed win Finals MVP, and my mind wasn't tricking me. Okay, they're good.
You did.
Yeah, I'm getting old. What's the next one?
Man, people aren't very creative. Would you rather have Scoot from One Piece have the better season or Sharpe have the better season? They're
We've had
also
that debate. We've
they're
answered.
exposing themselves as not listening this summer either. So,
I know. Come on, One
jeez.
Piece.
Yeah.
Where you been, man?
But yeah.
We answered that like one or
yeah.
two streams ago.
Eric Olson says, would you rather Kamara improve his threes or Rob fix his knees?
Kamara's threes are already pretty good, and Rob's knees are pretty bad, so I'll take Rob fixing Rob's knees.
Yeah, but I think Rob's still like a short term player on this team.
True,
So
I changed my mind.
Kamara be a great 3-point shooter and have him for 10 more years, you know.
Yeah, I changed my mind. Okay. What's next?
Would you rather have Bill Walton, this from Blazers OC, would you rather have Bill Walton in his prime, Clyde in his prime, or Roy in his prime? Obviously uninjured on this team. Current team.
Bill Walton.
Yeah, I think having MVP center, right, like a Jokic like center would be.
Yeah.
That's actually good at defense. That'd be insane. So I'll probably take him as well.
Yep.
Would you rather Anthony Simons win MVP on the Celtics or the Heat get relocated?
What? What is this question? This is a funny one. For narrative's sake, Heat get relocated.
That would be pretty funny if you got the power to do that, and you could always say it was a Blazer fan that did that.
Yeah, if they get relocated to Seattle, move them to a complete opposite corner of the country, and then we get our I-5 rivalry back. Yes, please.
Yeah, then someone in chat said if they moved them to Vegas, that'd be cool if they were the Las Vegas Heat.
Yeah, true.
You know, Anthony's my guy, so I'd be happy for him if he won MVP. So I'll take MVP. Fluff asks if you had the number one overall pick to build your franchise the last 2 years, and you could choose either one between Victor Wembanyama or Cooper Flag, who are you picking?
Picking Wemby.
Yeah, Wemby is just way more dynamic, just intriguing to build around versus Cooper Flag, who's really freaking good, but more traditional player.
Yep.
Would you rather be a fan of the Sacramento Kings or the Chicago Bulls?
Jesus. The Bulls, because at least they're in Chicago, so you have a hope that one day they'll be able to leverage that into something meaningful. That's like the only tiebreaker for me.
Yeah.
They've done it before, and the Kings have not.
Yeah. Plus, the Bulls are like red and black, I guess. You wouldn't have to change the colors that
true.
much.
You still have the same background colors, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I already got Jordans in my background.
Yeah.
So.
Would you rather have prime B-Roy or prime Dame to start your team with no injuries?
Excuse me, Dame.
Yeah, I'm doing Dame too. Though Roy would be pretty cool, but
Yeah.
and that was from Rich Homie.
Rich homie.
Insert joke says, "Would you rather have Batum or Denny?" I think
Denny.
it's easily Denny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And that's all of them. There were a few people asked questions, but they didn't follow the directions and reply to my other posts, so it's hard to find them. So
That's why you got to
that's pretty.
follow directions.
Yep.
Appreciate the effort, though.
Yeah.
Appreciate the effort, though. Anyway, we'll be live again on Monday, September 1st, when our sponsorship for the season begins with Sleeper. I ruined your drum roll, but Sleeper's going to be sponsoring us this season. Really excited to bring them on board. So, Sleeper fantasy app. They have picks, parlays. We're going to be doing some fun stuff around that, around parlays this year. We'll be taking a look at how our parlays did on post-game shows. Picking them beforehand. I want to do more video content, kind of in between games on game days. So shout out to my guy Muvsy. He wants to help me with that. He's a legend. Appreciate his donation earlier. Appreciate Borna's and donation earlier, dropping 100. Appreciate those guys. Shout out to Josh as well. A whole 100, man.
And congrats to Josh.
Yep. And shout out to Borna. I mean, he's the reason the Sleeper sponsorship is a thing for the channel. So, absolute legend, and gonna have some fun with Sleeper. Already used them for one of my dynasty leagues. So, I actually have played their parlays the past couple of years. That's the only parlays I've played is on Sleeper. I've had some fun with that in the past, so it's a really fun sponsor to bring on. So shout out to them. Taylor Sleep Mask sponsorship will be coming back in October, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we'll get a couple of those. So doing some work with them, with my influencer marketing company that I have been working like crazy for this month, especially this week. So I literally have stuff to do after the stream, and I literally was busy all the way up until the start of the stream. So it's
Rytech says, "Would you rather have Kamara win Defensive Player of the Year or Denny becoming an All-Star next year?"
Denny All-Star.
I'd choose Denny All-Star too. I think Kamara, the difference between winning a Defensive Player of the Year and making a all-defensive team is not a huge. It's more like a. What am I trying to say? The popularity contest at times, or So, but Denny would be a bit if he's an All-Star.
Yeah, it'd mean more. While I was yawning, I read Mount Hood say, "Wait, so 2 sleep sponsors?" Sleepers, yeah. Sleepers a daily fantasy football leagues app. So yeah, they're not meant to put you to sleep. You're meant to have fun with Sleeper, and the Manta Sleep Mask is what is supposed to put you to sleep. So yeah. Anyway, excited to do some work with them.
We already answered that one, Eric Olson. Come on. Or no, it was Danny.
It was Danny or Batum.
Yeah, never mind.
I'd probably still take Tamani.
Yeah.
I think Tamani's going to be better than Prime Batum.
Mm-hmm.
I think Prime Batum was a little bit better than Denny is now because of the passing, playmaking stuff that Batum could do. But yeah, no, you're fine, Eric. It was off dia.
Yeah,
it's getting late. It's getting late, so we're starting to slip here mentally, like the old men that we are. I can't even remember the start of the stream. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys making us a part of your Thursday night. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Labor Day. We will catch you again on Labor Day. That'll be right after our fantasy football draft. Maybe that's what we'll do for people that want to see our draft. We'll recap it real quick or something like that. And then that's what we'll do. We won't get more smog curse words on the stream. But
What about Eric curse words?
yeah, we got a couple of those tonight. That woke me up. That was something. So you met your quota for the month. Good thing it's almost a new month.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever heard curse words in August because we haven't had anything to curse about in August before. So
We did in September 2 years ago.
yeah. And we did in August and September 5 years ago. So, in the bubble.
Yeah.
Good times. But, yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We'll be back on Monday. Have a good rest of your weekend. These streams are always fun. So, I appreciate everybody that submitted questions. Thank you for the donations. I can't even talk. Hit the like on the way out of here. Easiest way to support the channel. If you can't do that, then my feelings are hurt. Please don't hurt my feelings. Subscribe if you haven't already. That's how you can make me feel better for the people that don't like the stream. And we are out of here. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.